for joining us again. We are now doing the second pilot episode of Tea Time with the Girls. And to start us off, Fox Giselle, recording artist.
Hi, I'm new. I'm Rihanna. I'm an inspired model.
Milan Zanotti, international boss.
Miss Tira Man-Made, musician, international boss, CEO, and everything else.
And I'm Ashley, musician also. So today we have a couple of topics, 3 topics that we're going to talk about in this segment. And the first topic, girls, is the Mr. C scandal. He basically admitted to being interested in girls like us, and he's been ridiculed by the hip hop community. So how do you feel about, how people are treating him for coming out to liking transsexuals?
I would like to elaborate on that. People that know my past know that I in the past outed out a celebrity, that was with the transsexual. And I, regret that. I definitely regret that because I was young. That was 4 years ago. I was young. I was stupid. And I definitely regret that. But I think that this has started like this trend of like transsexuals and drag queens, outing these celebrities for being with the girls, and it really fuels the stigma that a lot of guys have with being with us. Am I the only one that
I
feels
think
that
a
way?
part of
Yeah,
it. I think a part of it. A lot of people that do out the celebrities, I feel like they're doing it in a way because it's like, who are you to do this in the shadow? A lot of people want to be recognized for something. So
But the point is that it's pointless, and it's the reason why.
Yeah,
because
that's
you can't
true.
tell somebody else's secret unless the person wants to believe it. You can say all day that so-and-so does such and such in the dark, but it's done in the dark. And until it's in the light, nobody wants to believe it, they're not going to believe it. There are several celebrities
Exactly.
who are engaged in all kinds of activities. And transsexuals is like, that's
And
old.
Mr. C is not the first and will not be the last.
Yeah, and that's my point.
This is
Because we've all been with
Let me
celebrities
say
over
something
here.
though, because at the end of the day, we all
No
have
names.
Yeah, definitely no names, and that's why I don't give names, because you and I both have messed with prominent people in the NBA, the NFL, and
Athletes,
even
yeah.
athletes, rappers together. And I'm not the type to go back and run and say their name, because that messes up me and who I am as a person. They're never gonna trust me again, and my name will not be credible. Oh, Milan, don't go around her, bruh, because she's gonna open her mouth. She's one of those cat stats type.
Yeah.
She likes to talk. I don't talk. Your secret is
Yeah.
my secret. You know what I'm saying? So at the end
Yeah.
of the day, I respect that as, as their private life. If they want to respect it, I'll respect that.
Yeah.
I disagree. I don't not say because I think that I owe them the secret. Fuck their secret. The reason I don't say is because it doesn't do anything. If I go and tell you that this person did this, you still have the choice of whether you want to believe it or not. And more than likely, people do not believe it. They want to believe the concept gay is something you can see.
Yeah.
People want to believe that. So if you say somebody is
Oh,
gay,
and the look
or
of someone being gay
they
or
want to
down
believe
low
it's
has
something
changed.
you can look
See, I
at.
don't
Yeah.
But I
consider
think-
that gay,
I
'cause
honestly-
they mess with us. I don't
No.
consider that.
Men that mess
Baby,
with
if you put dick
transsexuals.
in your mouth,
Yeah, I don't agree with
Do I
that. I
agree
agree.
in my mouth? No.
No,
I
she's
just say-
saying that
I
if a
say
man
if a
puts-
man put dick in his mouth, he's gay.
Well,
No,
see,
he's
I
not.
don't
I
have
don't
gay.
agree
I
with
don't
that.
have gay.
I don't
I
agree
don't
with
have
that.
gay. I don't
I
have
think that you have a down south.
I
I think that you have a down south
I have a
mentality.
pussy stick.
I think that
Let's
down
get that
south has
together.
to leave.
No, it's not a down south man.
I believe that they're bisexual.
No,
Because
yeah, I don't believe in
some
labels, but I do believe in bisexuality. I believe
Yeah.
that there's certain guys that like women and they like. I think this is
Okay,
free.
well,
I would just call it a free.
Wait, this
He's
the
a
Our
free.
topic,
This
but
thing is with being a transsexual, you be with the several different type of guys. There's the type of guy that you're with and he makes you feel like a woman, he treats you like a woman. So you are a woman. Then there's the type of guy that you with and he wants nothing but a man. He don't
Exactly.
care nothing about no woman. He wanna see your dick, he wanna do things with it. Then it's faggots.
okay.
No, that's
no, but
not
I
true.
say, but let me say,
I think that a lot of people who do transition from male to female I think that if people can still consider it as being homosexual, I think it's retarded because
No,
people
that's not-
become
At the end of
transgenders
the
to
day,
be women.
we're
So
sexual
we should be
beings.
looked at as women. But a lot of times and sometimes we look at ourselves as a fantasy because we feel that can benefit us, that makes us more sexy, and that's a lot of times, like I said, it goes back to labels.
At the end of the day, we're all born with the libido to be sexually attracted to anybody Society put labels on everything.
Yeah.
So whatever turns you on, turns you on. Bisexual, homosexual, lesbian, whatever, those are labels that have been chopped onto us by society.
Okay, so
That's wrong.
All right, so what do you say? So men that sleep with transsexuals are heterosexual.
They're
I
sexual
disagree.
beings.
I would say
yeah.
you agree or disagree?
I believe they're heterosexuals,
Yes.
but because of society and labeling, they're very
Thank you.
confused, which is why they still battle with that. Which is
And that's why
they're
they're
afraid,
But listen,
afraid to come
How
out
can a
and
man
admit,
be
hi, I'm attracted.
heterosexual if his fantasy is for penis?
But it's not the penis. It's the fact that it's a beautiful woman with something extra.
But
I don't
And then
have
they
a
see
penis.
us
I
as
have
women
a
and treat us
sister.
as women.
Let's
But
not
they
talk
are
about
She's
that.
not being treated
There
as a
is-
There
man.
are
submissive.
men, that's what I'm agreeing with. There are men
There are
that you
submissive
meet that do treat you like a woman and they don't want nothing to do with all that. They don't ask you about, they don't want to, that's their thing, and I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
But then 90% in New York,
Yeah.
they chasing dick. They will tell you, I want dick. That's what they like. If you don't have a big enough one, they will say, do you have toys? Give us pumps. They
I think it has a
gay.
lot to do with
If you lay down
experimenting.
at night and your dreams are about dick, you're gay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't date men because they want dick. I date men because they give me what I want. You
But
know?
here's the thing about it, a lot of guys that are into transsexuals are basically into us because of the fact that we have a penis. They're not into
That's
us
what makes
because
us
of the fact
special.
they're
That's what
not
makes us
into us because
special.
of the fact that we have a vagina. You know, a lot of celebrities I had been with and things of that nature, you know, and not even so much celebrities, but they're into the fact that I have a big piece. I mean, it's pretty well known that I have a big piece.
And then you
know.
also have big breasts. And
Yeah.
and could you stand up and show and do a 360? You have
Yes.
a very curvaceous body.
Yeah, they're into
And,
all of this.
You
They're
know,
And a gorgeous face.
And a
Yeah,
yeah,
gorgeous
and a gorgeous
face.
face. So then, I mean,
And it just- and
you
it helps
standing,
that
okay, but you
everybody-
standing next to a biological female who
Yeah.
doesn't have the assets you have,
Mhm.
you know, a male will probably go for you regardless of the fact you have a penis.
Okay.
So it's not
wait,
that gay
okay.
versus women.
Yes,
And he
because,
will go for you
yes, let
even
me tell you
more.
why. Because if you take a woman and you give her everything that a man got, but the penis, I don't give a damn what she look like, I don't want it.
But he would even go for you.
Because I'm
more
gay, I like
because
dick,
you're-
I like men.
Well, then go to
So
your
you're
man.
gonna need the
Then
penis.
go to
But
your
there's
man.
some- there's a-
Then
there's
I
a-
don't want you neither.
There's always been
That's all you
there's
want.
always been a mysteriousness about transsexuals, a fascination, a curiosity, whether it's sexual or just people just want to know. And when people label transsexuals, even when I was, you know, a little boy at one time, there was a time when I heard the word transsexual and I was just so drawn to it. And I think a lot of people are just drawn to it. And I think a lot of transsexuals who are very beautiful and attractive women, and women get intimidated, men are confused, they don't understand why am I attracted to it. So being a tranny
But, okay,
is
the
like
thing
a-
about
it's
that
like
is,
an
the
alien.
reason why men are confused because society tells them it's wrong, they're raised to believe
Exactly.
that
Well,
their
that
feelings are wrong,
that
so that's why
coincides to what
they're
you're
confused.
saying. You're sitting here right now saying that they're gay. So
They
you're being
are.
not everyone. That's you see. You're part of the society that's confusing them. They're
No,
not gay.
no,
They
no.
see us as women. So how are they? You know, you call them faggots.
I don't see
No,
them
you're
as
saying
gay, but
now
I see
you're
them as
shaming
bisexual.
No,
You're
I'm
shaming
not.
men that love transsexuals.
No, I'm telling you that this is what I'm saying. They raise you as a child to believe that you are wrong for your internal feelings, so you grow up confused.
And
Do
the
you
way that
think that
makes you
religion
see-
played a big part of
Of
that?
course.
I don't believe in religion.
I
But
believe
did
God.
you as a child? Were you forced
I
into
wasn't
it?
forced to go to church and stuff like that, no.
Because I think religion plays a big part of everything and that's going on in this world.
But I know, you know what? I think this brings us to the next topic that we wanted to talk about.
Why are thugs attracted to transsexuals? And a lot of people, society, don't want to believe that, you know, oh, he would never be with a tranny, you know, and you know,
He's a real man.
because he's a real man, he loves pussy. But
Yeah.
what defines a real man? You know, I'm sure all of us in here have been with nothing but straight men who mess with females. And sometimes we're the girls on the side. But why do they seek us as the girls on the side?
I think a lot of people label people in general based on their hormone levels. If you have high estrogen, they consider you, and you're a boy, they consider you effeminate and gay. If a man is very, you know, has showing his testosterone side and being aggressive and firm and a little bit rough looking, people are always going to assume that's a real man, that's a straight man, because society, once again, with the labeling, people label homosexuals as being feminine and all about glitter and talking outrageously, but it's not about that. I know a lot of people who I would have never thought in a million years were gay, and they were. But then again, like I said, it goes back to.
I think going back to the original question that you asked.
The
about,
question
like,
was about why
thugs are
thugs.
attracted to transsexuals. I think it has a lot to do because we have a lot of the similar lifestyles. A
Yes,
lot of
the hustlers
transsexual women
mentality.
are hustlers. You know, the thugs are hustlers. A lot of times, I honestly feel that a lot of thugs tend to target transsexuals. We all know, you know, at least one tranny that has been turned out by a boy where he dicks you down, he loves you, you know, and then you wake up in the morning and then you got. Your whole
You ain't got no
DVD
TV.
collection, you have no TV, you have
Cable
no
box.
PlayStation,
Takes a cable box.
honey, and he takes your purse. And for the girls that have a car, he takes the keys to the car.
Yeah.
So I
Because
think
they
that's,
think some guys, not all thugs,
they look at us as
target
ATM
us, but
machines.
some of them, you know, they think it's easy. They think that we're weak and
It's
that
a hustle.
we're easy targets. You know, fuck her, rob her. I don't give a fuck. She's not a real female. She don't mean shit to me.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you know, we still have the essence of a female. You know.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of guys that not all thugs wanna, you know, harm us and rob from us. Because a lot of
That's
thugs,
true.
there's a lot of men that you
Will
know
protect us.
will protect us
And love us and take
I
us
have
out
a
just like
question,
any
though.
other woman.
I have
At the
my
same
question
time,
is,
when you break up with them,
if you meet a dude and he's supposed to be straight and he robs you, that makes him a thug. That makes him a bomb.
that doesn't make them a thug. When people say thug, they mean by people who's been related in some kind of gang affiliation.
Or just
And
really
people
urban street
would
guys.
assume that
Yeah,
a
very
person,
urban.
Yeah.
a person who's in that kind of affiliation would have nothing to do with the transsexual.
I don't
But
believe
I
that. I
don't
don't
believe
believe
that
that.
either. Can I
because
just say, I
here's
feel
the
like I
catch
always
though.
People think that. There's people
Yeah.
that there's people that believe that, you know, that would never. So I've heard that doesn't
We're the
happen.
most sought after girls in jail.
Exactly.
But listen, I don't believe that the
But
thugs
what's the
seek
excuse
us.
for that? Oh,
I
he's
think
been
that
in jail
we
too
seek
long.
them
Once he get
and-
out, he doesn't want him anymore.
The reason why thugs are attracted to transsexuals is because at the end of the day, back to my first point, we are all human and whatever attracts us, attracts us. Thugs are human and we're beautiful women. So, you
But
know,
these are boys that are having us, and you know, by all standards, they look like thugs and everything. But behind the doors, they're the ones that's bending over. They're the ones that's going down on us.
But
Pray-
I think we seek them.
They're
I
the
don't
ones
think
that's
they seek us.
swallowing cum.
I don't
Yeah.
think they seek us as much as we
Yeah.
seek them. I think we look.
I
for
think
the
it's
ones
half
out
and
there.
half.
see, no shade to nobody.
I
I
mean-
don't look for the boys like that.
No, they
Do
kind
I?
of flock.
But this,
to-
I'm gonna say I do.
I don't.
Because for me, when I meet a guy, one of the first things I look at is how masculine he is.
Yeah.
You have to make me feel like you're more masculine and more manly than me, because I'm the boss.
Yeah, no, I feel
So for me to be with you as my man, you gotta be more boss than me.
No, I feel you.
Yeah.
My husband is gonna be a boss, but honestly, I like nerds, and you know this.
Yes.
I'm attracted to like nerds and just goofy
I think
tough
nerds
because
are
I'm
cute.
very loud. I could be aggressive, and I mean sometimes a nerds make me laugh. I don't.
You mean a submissive man?
But my husband is in prison right now.
You see a nerd or a submissive man? Somebody submissive.
Just a nerd, just someone cute and goofy. But the guy that I'm with right now,
Yeah.
he's a thug, and he's in prison right now for something crazy that I don't want to talk about. But he's a thug, and he actually got some more time for something that he did in there. He did $150 on somebody, or he's getting charged for that inside.
Slashing someone's
And he's a
face.
thug, but the way he speaks to me, I deserve better because he talks to me like I'm some ratchet little 15-year-old girl. And you were there, I had to check him. Like, I'm not gonna.
Do you think that if people, let's say, do you think that people will ridicule him in jail if you went to visit him? And,
No, definitely not. They've seen pictures of me and they think I'm beautiful. I've talked to his boys.
But do they know that you're trans?
They don't know. They don't need to know. That's our point. What we talked about last time. Boys don't need to know.
I disagree with that. I
That's
think that.
fine. You could disagree all you want.
Wait, who
to.
don't know?
I
The boys
think
she's
that-
saying that
the
boys-
boys don't know.
She's saying that boys don't need to know,
Like,
period.
Boys don't know.
No.
Exactly.
She's saying that boys don't need to know, period. Do you agree with that?
My
too?
husband
no.
knows. That's all that's important.
I think
His
that
friends don't need to know. It's none of their
Yeah,
business.
I think that it's.
Oh, that's true, but I
think
mean,
that
as
is-
far as like in general in life, like, because you said before that you don't tell them.
Not off bat, but if I'm gonna have sex with them, of course.
Yeah.
But when I meet
But,
them,
like,
I don't say,
I
oh,
kinda think
I
that
am
this-
I'm a transsexual. Like, no.
I do.
I don't.
I do.
used
I
to.
do.
I think
Yeah.
that
Keep
is.
it
I
at
think
that.
that is nobody's
It's the
business.
Thank you.
Really,
I
love
But
her.
if you're gonna be intimate with a person, I think that it is their business to know.
Yes.
But if you're outside going shopping and people, you know, are on the street, you don't need to tell them, hey, I'm a
Thank you.
transsexual.
No, I'm not
It doesn't
saying
need to
that.
sound
I'm saying if
exactly
a guy,
point.
but if a guy
But
is,
if a guy wants to hook up with you,
yeah, he's
I'm known for doing this a lot. I'll go to a straight bar, and guys will buy me drinks, thinking that they're going home to get pussy. Little do they know, I make them spend over $500 worth of drinks, and I walked right out and went to the bar. So when it comes to that, you know, not like I said, I don't think everyone should know, but I think if you're going to be intimate with someone, it's very important that you tell them because you don't want to be in a dangerous situation.
yeah, a lot
Oh,
of
you know what's
girls.
so crazy is one of my friends actually hooked me up with a guy before my husband, and we were hanging out, and I thought he knew my business. I thought he knew my tea, and I asked her. I said, "Does he know my tea?" She's like, "Yeah." So we were hanging out that night. We were kissing. He was, you know, sucking on my titties, and I was just fondling him. No sex happened. The next day, I seen him, and someone that knows him, that knows
You
me,
phoned him the first time
that
you
knows
met
him. We didn't fuck though.
Because, well, I just want to
One
say
of his
something though.
friends said something
Okay.
to him, and he didn't know T, and he's a thug, and that I felt scared because I'm like, sometimes you hear stories how we talked about in the last show.
Yeah.
Girls will get killed, so I don't go around saying, "Hi, I'm Milan, I'm a transsexual." But if I get to know you and we get intimate, or that talk ever happens, I'm not gonna mislead you. I will tell you that I am a transsexual, and I don't have a penis. I have a pussy stick.
My thing is, this is what the girls do that really irritates me. The beautiful girls, such as yourself, they like to walk around and be fish and pretend to be fish, which is great. Everybody wants to be fish.
Pussy's fun.
Yeah, whatever. That's cool. But when we lie and live in the world as real women and don't expose ourselves as transsexuals, we've done an injustice to ourselves because they don't believe that beautiful transsexuals who live as real women exist. We have to come out
They
and say,
exist.
I am a transsexual. They look like this. They live like this, bitch. I work, I do, I da da da.
Ashley,
Just like your
stand
mama
up with
do,
three
just like your
feet.
auntie do.
bitch.
I'm real. We make it look like all we do is, you know, prostituting Craigslist, and all we look like is precious
And
man.
I'm that girl that likes to. If a guy tries to talk to me, I want him to know because I want him to be amazed. I want him to know that, oh my God, I just compliment.
I want my neighbors to know.
Yeah, I don't care.
I want my neighbors to know. I want
'Cause I
people,
feel
my
like,
block to know. I want
honest-
people to know. So when I want them to be shocked, I want them to be surprised, and I want them to feel like, oh, because they do come like that,
And
they do walk past me every day, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I want them to know that
And
exists.
we actually had a personal experience with a guy who was filling up on us and did not know T. And he was a cute little rocker guy. And he goes, "Wow, I can't believe you guys are dudes and my dick is hard." So it was like really funny.
Yeah.
But I mean, it could have been a
But I
wrong
think
way.
that some
He could've
girls,
punched
I think
us.
that some girls, and I might get ridiculed for this, but I think some girls are so desperate for the feeling of like, you know, being like loved like a woman that they want to lie and wheel someone in
No.
to wanting to be with them because it's not our job to make someone want to be with us.
We don't do
knowing that
that.
we're transsexuals. We can't change someone's mind frame. If he gets to know us, he might want to stay with us.
Well, I'm
you
sorry you
said
feel that way,
you
but
said
it
last
worked
time
for
that you
me.
told that you
It worked for
but
me.
you said that it had that one time you
Things
with a guy
happened. Things happened.
and he didn't want to be with you no more after.
Not because of that. You don't even know the whole story, boo boo. To even
Alright.
speak on my situation.
Yeah.
What happened was he didn't know my tea. We fell in love. I ended up telling him my tea. He still was in love. He found out certain things about me online, the scandals that I was pulling online with sex tapes and stuff like that, and just being not where he's at. He was in another state. I wasn't able to cater to his needs all the time. He ended up sleeping with someone else. We were still together. He still wanted to be with me, saying he wanted to kill himself because I wanted to leave him. He didn't break up with me, boo. Let's get it straight. I left
Yeah.
him.
No, I
'cause
remember
don't
you
wanna
saying
do
that
it
things
again.
went downhill.
Exactly. They
After
went
you told
downhill,
him.
but you're assuming.
No,
So
I
that
remember
was-
I
exactly
don't
what you said.
understand why did you have to pretend or tell him a lie or not tell him
It
at all?
wasn't a lie. He
I
didn't
can't even
ask.
remember the last
If he
time I told
asked-
So
somebody.
you're saying that they don't ask, you don't tell?
Oh, geez. I've done that before, but
Yeah.
now if I mess with someone, I'm gonna let them know before we meet up. Just let you know I'm a T girl. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? But when I'm out there and I meet guys, when I'm with her, because we go to the mall all the time. We meet guys wherever we go, and they don't ever clock T on us like, oh, that's a tranny. You know why?
Well, they never let us know.
They never let us know. Yeah, that's
Do you feel like
it.
some guys, they like to play dumb
Yeah.
and think that or they know what it is, but they don't really want to pretend like they don't know?
Exactly.
I think you have to take yourself out of the situation and flip it around. If you meet a guy and you're into him and y'all talking for a month, but y'all ain't had sex, and then he sit there and tell you, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, I'm really a girl, you gonna feel some kind of way.
I
Bitch, it's
would.
been a month. I don't waste my time and everything. You're gonna feel some kind of way.
I go took you to the movies. I go to the dinner. No, let them know because last week we
You do have a point, but sometimes I'm very one-sided when it comes to that, and I've been told that by some good friends. I am one-sided, but at the end of the day, I feel like if they get to know who we are first without sex, get to know us as a person, you know what I'm saying, and then that's on them. After you let them know, if they decide to do more, then they do more.
I think transsexuals who lie about their tea are just as low and dirty as the down low boys that lie about theirs.
Yeah.
It's the same
I agree, you have a
thing.
point.
It's a whole bunch of shame.
Yeah. So
But
point
it's very
blank-
hard to be honest with anybody in this world like this. And some people, I guess it's a survival instinct. That's what I see it as. I see it as a survival instinct.
Okay.
And when you look at a person, you can't paint a future for each other.
Exactly.
So there's guys that I go to bars and I don't tell them I'm tranny and they buy me drinks. I know their
Can I ask you a
intentions
question? Okay.
are to have sex with me and get me drunk, but that's not my intention. So if they never see me again, I really don't care. And I know, but at the same time, I like to do this a lot where I'm like, you know what, I'm pretty, so I should do whatever I want, and I play that card too.
When was the last time you met a guy and you told him your tea and he was like, I don't get out like that?
The last time I met a guy and didn't tell him?
No, and you told him and he turned you down. Thank you, that's enough.
Okay, sometimes gay men, this is the next topic, sometimes gay men and biological women are jealous of us because we possess the best of both worlds. So how do you guys feel about that? Like gay men and biological
I
women?
think
I
that-
think there's a certain aura about transgender people. There's a certain energy or aura about them. And a lot of times when people are like looking and staring, it's like you feel some type of way, but at the end of the day, I just feel like certain people have certain auras.
You know what I think? I feel that a lot of females are intimidated by transsexuals. And this is not me saying that we're better than females, but I think that the type of energy that we give off is that some
Yeah,
females
let's put a
feel-
disclaimer. We don't want no
Yeah,
one
yeah,
to
we
get
don't- I'm not
offended.
trying to say that
we
we're
don't want
better
the
than-
gay community or the female community to be
Yeah,
offended. We
but
just know that we have all five of us have been ridiculed by both gay males, and we've been judged because
And-
they feel like they don't know where to put us. They don't know what category we're in. Well, they used to be a man, but they're like women. Well, that's not a real woman. So that's where they feel like they're getting yang with us. Like,
I lost a lot of female friends because of
Yeah,
jealousy.
and this is what I wanted to say too. I wanted to say that I feel that a lot of females are intimidated by us because a lot of females, they feel like they bleed every month. They go through all this, and all you do is you get up in it, you wear a wig and everything. You can attract the same type of man that I can attract. Fuck you.
your ass is bigger than mine.
Exactly.
You got bigger hips than me.
Like,
Oh, no.
I'm a real female. So
Yeah.
how is it that you got more hips and more ass than I do?
Because they sell that. No, I don't know.
I think
think-
secretly every gay male wants to be a woman inside. When I was a gay, I believe it's true. For some people, if we see comments or tweets about this that it's not true, I'm gonna correct myself now. I believe that's true, and I just believe that is true. And
Because of the fact that when you were young and you were,
when I was young, I was
You wanted
wearing
to
my
be a
mom's
woman.
wigs when she
Yeah.
went to work. I was going to the mall in her high heels, and I think that has to do with our hormones.
Yeah, and a lot of a lot of males have more estrogen than testosterone. So that kind of plays the part of how they think and how they
Yeah.
function. I know me when I was younger, I've always had at the time, boy titties, that's what they called it. And I always wondered why. And my estrogen level was always higher than my testosterone. So that goes with it too.
But that doesn't apply to all gay men. I don't think that applies to
No,
all
it
gay
definitely
men.
doesn't.
Because I think some gay men, they get tight when we can have some boys that they cannot have. Because some gay guys feel that, oh, well, if you can have him, I can have him too, because you, in essence, are a man with a wig on.
But they also
so I can have him too.
But they also have that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But they also have to understand that when a man looks at us, a heterosexual man looks at us, when he looks at us, he sees a woman. He sees something
feminine
feminine.
energy.
Men are attracted to femininity, and that's what we portray. And a lot of gay men need to understand that the reason why I'm a tranny and I can get a man, and you're a gay guy and you can't get it, is because I'm portraying femininity.
Could you stand up and give us a 360, please, Rihanna?
If the whole camera can reach my tall ass.
Yeah.
I'll
And
do
your
360
sex appeal. It's the sex appeal. It's like you know, I think it was said in, back in ancient time that the Greeks
So they used to worship.
they used to
us.
worship the transgenders from back in the
Spirit
day
people, yeah.
because they felt like since it was a unisex goddess that you were
Yeah, it is.
a unisex goddess that you were more powerful, that we were more powerful, we draw in more energy than any other human.
Yeah, because we have both the energy of a male and a female. As much,
Some of us.
yeah, as much as some of us, like the transgender women, like, oh, I'm fishy, I'm feminine. A lot of us still have and exude that masculine energy.
Very much.
When we are trying to compete with another girl to try to get the trade, that's masculine energy.
I heard
Yeah.
in certain countries now they're starting to allow sex changes as part of healthcare. Like I think
Canada does that.
America needs to
in
get its
Sweden,
game
I heard in
up.
Sweden, if you identify as transgender and if you're born in Sweden, you could get a free sex change. And I think that would be if they did that in America, you know, it would kind of
There'd
close
be
the
a lot of
population.
boys running
Well,
around
then it would be
with
good. It would be good because you know there will be a lot of men that won't men. A lot of times men try to have sex with women just to prove they're straight when they're not even into women. And then there's a lot of these children that are born, and I feel like it would kind of close the population, and there'll be less people in the world if more transsexuals had sex changes.
If they gave them out for free in America, would you get one?
Yes, I would.
Would you?
No.
There's a lot of real masculine men that like to get fucked in the ass, and
That's
they find it to be a man thing.
Because
to take an
the
ass.
G spot for a man is 2 inches in and 2 inches up.
Like a prostate.
The prostate.
Yeah.
So that's
But
why they like
masculinity
penetration.
doesn't mean straight or gay. Like you could be very masculine and like big. That's nothing. That's not new.
Metrosexual and
I think we all see there. We even we're using labels that we live in a society where we use labels. We even use them ourselves. I think that if someone's comfortable and they know who they are inside, whatever they do for shits and giggles, I think they should do it. I think more power to you for doing it.
Yeah.
But
I don't think a guy getting fucked is a gay.
You can't sit there and reinvent driving. If you're driving, you're driving. So
Then I'm
if
gonna
you participate in gay activities, you're gay. You can't reinvent it because I don't feel comfortable calling it gay. No, it's still gay. It still makes you
but you
gay.
can drive a different way. Some people drive
But you're
different.
still driving. That means you could be
But
gay all kinds of ways. Y'all
But
could be
we're
gay.
still living too, so it's part of living. Like, that's the individual. You're gay, you're straight, it's a label. We're human, that's what we do. And us as individuals, I didn't feel like I was gay growing up. That's what I was labeled as. Oh, you don't like women, so you're gay. No, I wasn't gay, so.
But the definition of homosexuality is to be liking the same sex. So if you were a boy and you like boys, you might not
I
have
never
felt
was
gay.
a boy. I never felt that. I was just born in the wrong
If
body.
you were
That's how
born
I
with a pussy
feel.
stick, if your pussy was on a stick and you liked it, something else on a stick.
Honey, I
Yeah,
never
you
liked,
may not
I
have
was never
felt gay.
attracted to a gay, kind of like a Twinkie. I like, no shade to them because I have a whole bunch of Twinkie friends.
There's
but
a lot of
I was
What's a
always
Twinkie?
attracted to men, like
yeah. There's a
real
lot of people
men.
who are born and they feel like they're in the
Women,
wrong body.
exactly.
There's kids at the age of 3, and I saw a documentary of a girl who was born a boy. At the age of 2, he wanted to be a female, and the parents were very accepting to that, and they changed. And
that's
he
the
was on a
difference
lot of talk shows.
between a drag queen and a transsexual. A
Because
transsexual really feels in their body, in their heart, that they are a woman, which they are, and that's why they've came up with the GID, gender identity disorder. A drag queen, a guy that just a transvestite, a man that gets up in it to do gay activities, that's a boy with a dick that likes to do things with other gay men.
And society,
As a woman-
society paints a picture of a transsexual. They even call us transvestites. That
No,
people
I don't like
think,
that.
people assume that a transsexual is RuPaul. A transsexual is
RuPaul's a drag queen. Let's get
when
that
really
together.
the real transsexuals are blending with society
And
because
they don't-
of society.
Exactly, and they don't know who we are sometimes.
So a lot of times
That
our
goes back to
identity,
what I said though. That's because we only leave the RuPauls to represent. We don't represent as transsexual women. We lie and we hide and
because a lot of times it's
Pretend
very
to blend in,
dangerous.
right,
It's
yeah.
very, very dangerous, and a lot of times, I just feel that it's dangerous, and a lot of people feel like when you're young, you feel that, oh, well, I was born a woman,
But-
so maybe I should just stay a woman.
But you do know that people who watch this video and see you on this video will not have a different opinion of what transsexualism is because they see a beautiful representation
Yes.
of it. We don't do that enough. We lie and hide like Trey
Yeah.
on the DL, and we keep it a secret and nobody knows. So all they see is RuPaul. So of course they think, oh, RuPaul's a beautiful transsexual. No,
No, you have
RuPaul is
a
a drag queen, a man who gets paid to dress up in female clothing.
Yeah.
That is completely different from what I wish somebody would pay me. I wish they would pay me to do it. I really do. Shit. But next,
But we're going
I
back
think
to
now that it's coming out more, like you were saying, that there's not enough girls who are willing or brave enough to come out, and I feel like now that it's coming out more with TV shows, Oxygen, and other shows
Laverne
where
Cox.
there's
Shout out to Laverne
and
Cox.
other shows where there's trans, huh?
Laverne Cox. From
Yeah.
Orange
Yeah,
is the New
Laverne
Black.
Cox.
She's
Yes.
tranny representing down, and she
Candace Kane,
Candace
Isis
Kane,
King.
Carmen Carrera.
Donna Star, Amanda Lepore.
Isis King, yeah.
And
Love
Janet
you
Mock.
all.
Janet
this-
Mock,
this-
yeah.
this-
Because Janet Mock and Laverne Cox had a conversation about the Mr. C thing too, so they're
Yeah,
really
and how
good
they fuck us,
representations
how they
of
fuck us in the dark
community.
and shame us in the light.
I'm not caught up on the Mr. C thing. Like, did he go back to jail?
No, he got caught. Someone put him on blast, recorded the whole little conversation they had between each other, and then that person, a drag queen, put it on blast online, and it was all over World Star Hip Hop, Hot 97. He was just the donkey of the day. It was crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, but like I said before,
And that sucks because that right there, the way they put him on blast makes other people be like, "Oh, I would never mess with that," because they make it a bad thing.
Yeah, they stigmatize it.
and then there's also
Exactly.
people in society to understand, like a lot of good-looking men that get pussy thrown at them, like are like rappers. I don't want to name. Should we name? Should I name some?
No.
No.
All right, you know, they're so used to women throwing them in groups that they kind of get bored of it, you know?
Oh, I believe that concept too.
They get bored of it. They
Yes,
get
the
bored of
rich,
bringing.
the
They
people who have a lot.
smash. They're smashing so much pussy.
You have a point.
It gets boring. They want something new. They want to try different things. They want a tongue in their ass. They want a dick in their ass. They want to experiment.
They
You
want
know,
tits on
they
their
get
back.
high on. They popping mollies and they getting. You know, they got the Patron and the Ciroc. They want to do wild shit. This is happening. This has been happening. It's just now it took Mr. C for this to happen. People to realize, oh shit, it's happening. But it's a lot of more like. I mean, I'm not saying Mr. C is like disgusting looking, but you know, he's a heavyset guy. You know, but
Yeah.
I don't want people to think that that's all we can get. Like
He's a dad.
Basically, what she's saying, we get prominent
What's that?
alpha male type men. We get bosses.
I think
Yeah.
that there's a lot of
Yeah.
things that are hidden in the dark. and a
like
lot
the
of
Chris
people-
Browns and the Trey Songz
A
of
lot
the
of
world.
people would not know that because so many things are hidden in the dark. But now things are slowly starting to be revealed so much that even heterosexual people are getting paranoid about, oh, my man is probably with this person, or man, you know.
I totally believe that too. When men have a lot at their beck and call, they can just say I want and it just comes to them. They'll start requesting weird shit, and they like to do that with transsexuals because that's already out the box, and then
Yeah.
they can go further with you. They can ask you to piss on them and
I
all
like
that kind of
doing
stuff.
that. And I think curiosity,
I like it.
I do believe in curiosity kills the cat. When someone is so experimenting and doesn't have limits, they put themselves in a situation. And I think that a lot of times when people experiment to the point, like guys, we claim they're heterosexual, and they would never in a million years touch our penis. And now that they've experimented so much, that there's guys that we meet that do. That not only touch our penis,
Yeah.
suck it, and
Yeah.
I've had guys that told me that they
This is
didn't want
their
to see it.
curiosity.
They told me that they don't want to see it, and that the next time they're on their knees before I'm on my knees, and I'm
Wanting
like,
to give you a little.
woo!
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then, you know, but I don't judge them and I don't shame them and tell them, no, don't suck my dick, you're a faggot, you're a fag. Don't suck my dick,
I do.
that makes you gay. Well then, you know, then you're shaming men to not want to be with us.
I was joking, girl. I was joking.
You know, now
So
guys
that-
are they're afraid to be seen with us because people think
So
like that.
that being said, we have discussed a variety of topics today. I'd like to thank you as the viewer for joining us.
Can I give a shout out?
So, yes, you would like to do a shout out?
Last time y'all did the video, I wasn't here, but y'all talked about the girls who had been murdered. And I had actually lost a friend there recently. And her name was Ashley Mahogany Singleton. She's from Orlando. She was murdered by somebody on the street, shot her 5 times. And she died in the woods. And they don't know, they didn't look for her or they didn't look for her killer or whatever. Talk to her, we missed you, we love you.
Does anybody else want to do a shout out?
I have a question. So they're not doing any further?
Nothing. They don't.
investigation?
They've labeled it as a transsexual prostitute was killed industry, it's case closed.
Yeah, it's like who cares, right?
They
We're
don't
gonna
even
talk
know-
about
and
that.
if I hate, it bothers me so much because she was like a great person. Don't you know how you need that people are like great people and then when they die,
Genuine
they get no
souls.
recognition for being just genuinely great people? All they talked about
It's like a
was
spit on
her
someone's
police
grave.
record and you know the fact that she was transgender. Nobody talked about nothing good she did.
It's kind of like saying this person was successful. It had 3 of its own business. It had, you know, family, kids. Oh, and also it was a transsexual. So all that thing, all the good you've done in the world goes all the way down because society said you're a transsexual. And I think that's sad because I roll over my fucking grave. If I'd be damned if I fucking became America's super fucking models, made lots of money, helped lots of organizations, and when I die, all they can say is, oh, some tranny that just wanted to be a model. I would be hurt.
Yeah.
I would be so hurt.
So that being said, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us for another episode of Tea Time with the Girls, and we will see you next time.
Bye.